blooming hell. And that actually gave me extra motivation to do more. It was like, what can I complete? What can I complete today or this week? And I didn't have the problem of saying, oh God, I'm going to have to write this again. The friction of doing stuff. Hi, welcome to Learn Different. A while ago I told you about how to crush ADHD, depression and anxiety. And I came up with a method to visualize how to do that. And I wanted today to give you a practical tip on how to actually do this. And this is by using something called Trello. It's a free app that's online. You can also get it for your iPad and iPhone. And this is basically how I, explain things and actually be productive. The reason I'm telling you this is because I realised that I had ADHD, and I realised that I was a visual worker, and using some to-do apps were just not doing it for me. But when I came upon this method, I had one of the most productive years of my life. Every day I was doing something, and I was continuously reminded of things that I needed to do and could visually complete those tasks. I didn't use any other to-do apps except just Trello, and it helped me so much. So that's why I want to help you. This board is also grounded in something called Human Givens. Now, Human Givens has kind of 9 essential emotional needs. You can skip ahead to this because it doesn't really matter. As long as you're using this to kind of get around what you need to do. But Human Givens, a bunch of psychologists have worked out there are 9 things you need to do to actually remain happy. Security, safe security. So basically, like having a lock to your front door, for example, or security of a job, so you know that you're going X, Y, and Z and you're doing this thing. Security of the relationships that you have with people. So security covers a lot of different areas. And what's important, and you can go on the Human Givens website and do some more research, but what is important is that all of these areas overlap and reinforce each other, and they create a network to support you. So that said, if we go to Trello, I'm talking about this kind of looking forward in life. So again, this is kind of like a sense of competence and achievement and meaning and purpose, and we're tackling those two really. So we're giving ourselves achievable goals, and these are all achievable. I know, be an astronaut. Who knows what it's like in 2037? But if you get enough money, you can go on. You can become an astronaut with Virgin, for example. And there are some schemes that you can be an astronaut now. So as long as you can get enough money, you can become an astronaut. So midterm, long-term focus is usually 15 years in the future, from research that I've done, and then the midterm focus is 5 years in the future, and then the short-term focus is like 6 months. And those are things that they're achievable pretty quickly. So becoming a paragliding instructor, I don't know if I can achieve that with that. This is not really my goal. Get ADHD medication. It's important to tie the goals with a date, because your mind can work on a date. So you can say by this date, so you might even do it earlier. I own 4 houses. Might also be important to tie it to kind of a feeling or some kind of other goal that you have. So I own 4 houses and rent them out to prevent homelessness. Okay, so if you have another goal of achieving homelessness, those two can be tied together. Achievements. We see that Human Givens talks about sense of achievement. It's important to stick stuff up on your wall or somewhere that you can be visually reminded that you are not a failure. simple by the fact that you're living is kind of tantamount that you're not a failure, you're succeeding. So growth areas, I've copied out some of the human given stuff here just to remind me of like things like security and things like that. But you can put those into your own growth areas. So if you want better health, more money, better relationships, try and put those into those sort of concrete goals. You can copy this stuff. It's pretty much there, and then you can actually delete stuff that you don't actually need anymore. Just like that. So that's why by clicking on the card and editing it. Someday maybe is a place to put stuff that you haven't really decided on and you don't want to do today, and they don't really fit into your long-term goals. In fact, probably you should really be fixing a deadline and a date when you're going to complain to your solicitors by. So who knows? January 2023. I will make a complaint to my solicitors. Okay, yeah, that's it. So be clear about the goals, clear about when they are by. You can always reformulate the timelines, but it's healthier to have a timeline that you miss and then you look at it and you think, hey, I'm not going to make that goal, or it's not important anymore, or that it's just a goal for a different part of life. Here I've put down that I've run a marathon, I've started a charity, and these are all things that remind me of my ability to do something, so that when you're thinking like, hey, I don't know if I can achieve any of this stuff, then you can remind it, hey, I have achieved stuff that actually seemed quite out there. So I couldn't run 5 minutes 2 years before achieving a 2-hour 25-minute half marathon. It's not the greatest. I know people complete stuff in half the time, but we're not talking about other people, we're talking about yourself, and it's important to remind yourself that you can achieve stuff. Projects, also there is a reminder of what you're supposed to be focusing on. So I like to learn law, I need to learn how to touch type, learn to drive, and learn YouTube, and I'm still doing that. I don't think I really need to remind myself of other stuff, but you should put it here. Try not to overwhelm yourself and have 20 projects. There's something wrong if you have 20 projects. Probably keep them to 5 and keep others in someday maybe that you're thinking about to do afterwards. Okay, and yeah, I don't really know how to explain more than that. Ideas inbox is where you stick everything that you want to talk about. So buy new shoes, buy new running shoes, here we go, running shoes. Donate to charity, volunteer, and you can come up with a lot of ideas based on these growth areas as well. You can color code stuff and do that, but it's not necessary. So for example, you can sort of link this driving here. Here we go, we've got labels. I've got labels that's based on my money, it's health, my spirit. I can go out with my partner in the car. It's helpful for my business, help structure my life, probably, I don't know. But here it's like I've used all the tags, and maybe everything you should do is should be based on these tags. Ideas. So part of the GTD principles, and when you're looking at things that you need to do, is to decide whether you can do that in 5 minutes, and if you can, do that. If it takes longer than 5 minutes, schedule it. So if I'm not sure about this human right claim, I think I will do it this week. show my Trello board. I'm doing that now. I'm doing it this week. Buy new running shoes. I'll do it this week as well. In fact, I could have done that. That's going to take a lot longer. I know it's going to be 5 minutes. Donate to charity. That it might even be a project. It's just something you do constantly. You can also just leave that in the today thing, but it kind of clutters things up. So you donate to charity, or let's say help others. Okay, help others is more of a project, and then you would actually do something like, hey, I'm going to donate money to children in need. There we go. So that's done, and I'll do that. That'll take 5 minutes. Waiting for, so once you've donated the when you need a placeholder for things, and you need to do that. So for example, today I wrote my I had these ideas to do. I was going to, and I promoted that on my on Twitter. I was going to write about the UN on parental alienation, and also I was going to write to Channel 4 and join their parental alienation group program. And so I've done both of those things. I'm going to wait to hear back from them. So I've put them on that stuff. And the idea of clustering should also be in your mind, because these two things, love my children and spirit, and these things are essentially the same thing. So I waited to do both, and when I got enough momentum to do that, then I actually did them, and both of them helped each other. Literally, I wrote I wrote about the Channel 4 stuff overnight, and then I tweaked it, and I thought, okay, now I can send that to the UN, but I just put a different header on it. And so that's an idea of clustering, that usually one thing is related to another, and virtually the same. So today, this week, I sort of explained that it's better to have this. I found that it's better to have my to-dos not rewritten again and again and again on a list, and then also they can be and then I can actually move these onto, when I've done those, I can visually see the achievements that I've done that week. So that's a reinforcement that I've done work this week. And it's kind of, I think that's missing when you cross stuff out, is that you have like all of these to-dos, and you don't actually go, you can look back and go, oh yeah, I've now got all rid of all my to-dos, but you don't remember those. And I find that people with ADHD don't remember what is not there. So out of sight, out of mind. And so if you put away all of your achievements, you literally think that you've done nothing, and that kind of adds to a kind of nonsense. And then if you get on for weeks and weeks, like how I had all the things that I was doing, I was like, blooming out, and that actually gave me extra motivation to do more. It was like, what can I complete today or this week? And I didn't have the problem of saying, oh god, I'm gonna have to write this again, the friction of doing stuff. I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise I just yak on too much. This is my Trello board. I hope you found it useful. Please try it out. It's really, really, really helpful. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Any questions below? Any questions? Really, just ask, and I'll be able to help you. Thank you.